Our journey into Psalm 39 begins with a profound, almost uncomfortable silence. The psalmist, overwhelmed by his suffering in the presence of the wicked, determines to remain silent, to hold his tongue. This initial movement of the psalm is a solemn, quiet melody, reflecting the pain of unspoken grief and the struggle to guard one's words in anguish. It captures the reality that sometimes, in the face of immense suffering or injustice, our first instinct is to withdraw, to try and control the outpouring of our hearts. Yet, even in this silence, a deeper truth begins to emerge. The unchanging promise, Psalm 39, 1-2 states, I said, I will watch my ways and keep my tongue from sin. I will put a muzzle on my mouth while in the presence of the wicked. So I remained utterly silent, not even saying anything good, but my anguish increased. One, this is our keynote, a somber yet honest chord revealing the futility of silence when the heart is full. The promise here, ironically, is found in the failure of silence to bring relief. It shows us that true healing doesn't come from suppressing our feelings, but from eventually finding a voice for them. Even if it's painful, a story of overcoming. Consider someone who has experienced a profound betrayal or injustice. Their initial reaction might be to withdraw, to suppress their anger and hurt, fearing that speaking out will only cause more pain or be misinterpreted. They try to put a muzzle on their mouth, believing that silence will protect them or maintain a fragile peace. However, this suppression leads to internal anguish, a burning fire within that only grows hotter. They realize that this self-imposed silence is not healing but suffocating. Their journey to overcome begins when they recognize the limits of this silence and start searching for a safe space to articulate their pain, even if it's just to God. This painful realization becomes the turning point toward authentic expression, a step of faith. This week, if you find yourself trying to suppress strong emotions out of fear or frustration, acknowledge that feeling. Then, instead of bottling it up, write down exactly what you'd want to say. Even if you never share it, this act of writing can be a safe way to break the oppressive silence and begin to process your hidden anguish. As the initial silence of Psalm 39 breaks, the psalmist's heart burns and his thoughts pour out, leading to a profound meditation on the brevity and frailty of human life. This segment is a poignant reflective melody, highlighting the fleeting nature of existence and the transient quality of all earthly pursuits. It's a sobering truth, yet it serves a crucial purpose by confronting our own mortality and the impermanence of everything around us. We are redirected from earthly anxieties to a deeper understanding of what truly lasts. The unchanging promise, Psalm 39, 4-6 declares, show me, Lord, my life's end and the number of my days. Let me know how fleeting my life is. You have made my days a mere handbreadth. The span of my years is as nothing before you. Everyone is but a breath, even to those who seem secure. Surely everyone goes around as a mere phantom. In vain they bustle about, heaping up wealth without knowing who will get it. This acts as a gentle yet powerful chord of reality, underscoring our temporary existence. The promise here is that this profound realization, rather than leading to despair, can lead to wisdom, a reorientation of our values towards what is eternal and truly meaningful, making our lives more purposeful even in their brevity. A story of overcoming. Consider someone relentlessly pursuing worldly success, career advancement, financial gain, social status. Believing these will bring ultimate fulfillment, they invest all their energy, often at the expense of relationships, health, or spiritual well-being. A sudden, unexpected event, like a serious illness, the loss of a loved one, or a significant professional setback forces them to confront the fleeting nature of their pursuits. This moment of crisis acts as a mirror, reflecting the mere handbreadth of their days and the phantom nature of their bustling. Reading Psalm 39, they realize the emptiness of their previous goals. This realization, though initially painful, becomes a catalyst for profound reevaluation, leading them to seek lasting value and meaning in something beyond themselves, transforming their desperate striving into a search for eternal purpose, a step of faith. This week, take a few minutes to silently reflect on the temporary nature of your earthly possessions or daily anxieties. Ask God to show you what truly matters from an eternal perspective. This small act of reflection can help you recalibrate your priorities and reduce the grip of worldly concerns, finding more profound peace. As the psalmist's meditation on human frailty deepens, his carefully guarded silence finally breaks, giving way to an honest, unreserved cry from the depths of his heart. This segment is a raw, emotional melody, a powerful and vulnerable prayer where the psalmist pours out his pain, his hopes, and his ultimate dependence on God. It's a crucial turning point, showing us that true healing begins when we stop bottling up our pain and bravely bring our deepest anguish and unanswered questions before our compassionate God. The unchanging promise, Psalm 39, 7-8 declares, "But now, Lord, what do I look for? My hope is in you. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Do not make me the scorn of fools." This acts as a pivotal, hopeful chord, signifying a shift from despair to divine dependence. The promise here is that when we pivot our gaze from our troubles and the futility of life to God alone, our hope is rightly placed. He is the ultimate deliverer, capable of freeing us not only from our suffering, but also from the internal burden of our sins, preventing us from becoming objects of scorn. A story of overcoming. Imagine a person who has carried a secret burden of shame or guilt for years, believing they are unforgivable or that their past mistakes define them. They might try to distract themselves, engage in self-blame, or project their pain onto others, never truly finding relief. When they encounter Psalm 39, especially the psalmist's honest plea, "Deliver me from all my transgressions," it resonates profoundly. They realize that true freedom isn't found in hiding, but in confessing their deepest flaws and fears to God. This prompts them to finally articulate their hidden pain and guilt in prayer, not holding anything back. This act of raw, unfiltered honesty, though terrifying at first, becomes their breakthrough, allowing God's grace to penetrate the long-sealed chambers of their heart, leading to forgiveness, healing, and a newfound sense of peace that lifts the burden of shame. A step of faith. This week, identify one secret fear, shame, or transgression that you've been holding on to. In a key moment, speak it aloud to God, releasing it to Him. Ask Him specifically to deliver you from its grip. Trust that His grace is greater than any past mistake. And that honest confession opens the door to profound healing, having poured out his heart and acknowledged his hope in God. Or the psalmist in Psalm 39 then finds solace in God's sovereign providence. This segment is a calming, reassuring melody, recognizing that even when God's hand feels heavy, His actions are purposeful, designed to bring us to a deeper place of understanding and dependence. It's a challenging truth, but one that offers profound comfort, knowing that our suffering is not random or meaningless, but orchestrated by a loving God who has ultimate control. The unchanging promise, Psalm 39, 9-11, states, I was silent, I would not open my mouth. For you are the one who did this. Remove your scourge from me. I am overcome by the blow of your hand. When you rebuke and discipline people for their sin, you consume their comforts like a moth. Surely everyone is but a breath. This acts as a complex yet redemptive chord, acknowledging God's active role, even in pain. The promise here is that recognizing God's hand in our suffering, though painful, can lead to submission and trust. It implies that His discipline, while difficult, serves a purpose to refine us and remind us of our utter dependence on Him, ultimately leading to greater purity and reliance on what is eternal. A story of overcoming. Consider a person who has endured a prolonged period of intense difficulty, perhaps a chronic illness that has stripped them of their physical comforts, or a series of devastating losses that have challenged their faith. They might struggle with anger or bitterness, questioning God's fairness. As they engage with Psalm 39, the psalmist's realization, you are the one who did this, resonates deeply. This isn't an accusation, but a profound theological insight. It forces them to confront the difficult truth that God, in His providence, allows or even orchestrates certain trials for their ultimate good. This realization, though initially unsettling, gradually brings a profound peace. They shift from asking, why me, to what are you teaching me? This surrender to God's sovereign hand, even when the scourge feels heavy, allows them to find comfort and a deeper sense of purpose in their suffering, transforming their lament into a submission to divine will, a step of faith. This week, if you're experiencing a difficult situation, try to identify one way in which God might be trying to refine you or teach you something through it. Even if you don't fully understand, consciously surrender that situation to His sovereign hand, stating, Lord, I trust your hand in this. Even if I don't understand, this act of surrender opens the door for Him to work. We have journeyed through the poignant harmonies of Psalm 39, from the painful silence and the stark realization of life's brevity to the honest cry from the depths of the heart and the profound submission to divine providence. Our musical journey culminates in a powerful coda, a finale, heartfelt plea for God's grace and a declaration of unwavering trust in His enduring love and forgiveness. This concluding segment of the psalm is a tender and hopeful benediction, affirming that despite our fleeting nature and our struggles, God's mercy is eternal, offering ultimate healing and peace. It's the ultimate resolution to our symphony, leaving us with a renewed sense of hope and a profound dependence on His compassionate grace. The unchanging promise, Psalm 39, 12-13 concludes, hear my prayer. Lord, listen to my cry for help. Do not be deaf to my weeping. I am a foreigner and stranger with you, as all my ancestors were. Look away from me, that I may enjoy life again before I depart and am no more. This is the final, tender chord of our symphony, a humble yet persistent appeal for God's attention and grace. The promise here, though framed as a desperate plea, is implicit in God's character. He does hear our prayers, He does listen to our cries, and He does respond with compassion. The recognition of our transient nature on earth underscores the urgency of seeking His favor and enjoying His presence during our brief time, knowing that true joy and peace come from Him alone. a story of overcoming. Consider a person who has reached a point of utter exhaustion and despair, feeling that life has been stripped bare. Much like the psalmist, they might feel overlooked, insignificant, or that their prayers are falling on deaf ears. They have confronted their own limitations and the brevity of life. In this moment of profound vulnerability, they echo the psalmist's cry, "Hear my prayer of Lord. Listen to my cry for help. Do not be deaf to my weeping." This raw, honest pleading becomes their spiritual breakthrough. They realize that it is precisely in their weakness and utter dependence that God draws near. Their willingness to acknowledge their frailty and their desperate need for His grace allows them to experience His compassion in a new way. The foreigner and stranger finds solace and a sense of belonging in the presence of the God who hears, transforming their final plea into a powerful testament of grace received and peace found. A step of faith this week. If you feel unheard or overwhelmed by the brevity and challenges of life, take a moment to pray Psalm 39:12-13 aloud. Pour out your heart to God, specifically asking Him to hear your prayer and listen to your cry. Trust that He is not deaf to your weeping, and that His compassion will bring a renewed sense of peace and joy to your fleeting days. We have harmonized with the profound truths of Psalm 39, from the painful silence and the stark reality of life's brevity to the honest cry from the depths of the heart and the profound submission to divine providence. You have been led from discordant notes to a triumphant anthem, a personal symphony of trust and devotion. This journey has shown us that our God is not distant, but intimately involved in every aspect of our lives. Even in our deepest anguish and our understanding of our own finitude, He meets us in our vulnerability and empowers us with His truth. Let us now join in a collective declaration of hope and unwavering faith. Though the melody of my life may waver, I still believe You are the conductor. Though I cannot see the light, I still believe You are my song. Lord, You are my strength and my song, my fortress and my foundation. You are my anchor in every storm, the wellspring of my unending hope. I will not remain silent, but I will pour out my heart to You, my only hope. I know my days are fleeting, but my trust is in Your eternal providence. Hear my prayer, Lord, and grant me Your grace and peace. I invite you to come to the Lord now, allowing Him to reharmonize your soul and grant you His profound peace. Lay down every burden, every discordant note, and let Him compose a new, vibrant melody within you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May He lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. May you find renewed strength, abiding peace, and a fresh song of hope echoing in your heart, always trusting in His enduring grace and compassion.